Welcome to Literacy Home Learning. This is a literacy unit appropriate for children learning from home during this extended school closure. It is designed to provide learning opportunities for primary age children and will develop their ability within the national curriculum. This is lesson number 2 in the series. Please listen along, pause the video when necessary, and complete the task appropriate for your age and ability. To be prepared for today's lesson, make sure you have something to write with and your home learning book. Follow along with the video and be sure to pause when you've been given a task to complete. You will know when to pause the video when you see the symbol in the bottom corner of the screen. In today's lesson, we will continue to explore the book The Tin Forest by Helen Ward and Wayne Anderson. Today's learning objective is to make inferences about a character. We're going to start by showing you some images of the story. Carefully look at each image and see if you can make some guesses about what you see. Here you can see a small house in the middle of a rubbish dump. Inside that small house, there is an old man reading a book. And finally, the old man is staring out the window of his small house. Time for your first quick task. With your home teacher, discuss what you might be able to figure out. Who lives in the house? Why might they live there? Does it remind you of somewhere? Time for your next quick task. What would be the advantages, the good things, and the disadvantages, the bad things, of living in the house in the middle of all that rubbish? In your home learning book, place your thoughts into a table. Use the table below to support you. We thought that one advantage would be finding interesting things. We also thought one disadvantage might be that it could be quite smelly. A simple sentence can be built by having a subject, a verb or adjective, and an object. For example, the house smells, or the house is small, or the rubbish is interesting. Time for your next quick task. In your home learning book, use the table from your previous quick task and turn each point into a simple sentence. There are many ways to improve a sentence. Often, we add greater detail by using good vocabulary. Today, we will improve sentences by adding verbs and adverbs to add more detail, expanded noun phrases to add more description, and conjunctions to give a reason for your inference. Here's how we have improved some of our simple sentences. The house smells can be improved to the old wooden house has a terrible smell because it is surrounded by rubbish. Our next simple sentence was the house is small. This has been improved to the small cluttered house is in the middle of a messy, stinky rubbish pit. And finally, our last simple sentence was the rubbish is interesting. This has been improved to the rubbish is interesting and unique because it comes from many different types of people. Time for your next quick task. In your home learning book, use the simple sentences from earlier and improve them using the success criteria below. Your success criteria is to use a conjunction to explain why you think this, and add more description using expanded noun phrases and adverbs. To make an inference means to use the clues to explain what is happening. For example, the man's house smells because it is in the middle of a rubbish dump. The picture cannot show us that it smells, but we can infer this as we know that rubbish can often be smelly. When making an inference, using the conjunction because will explain the evidence you used to make that inference. Year 1 and 2, here's your main task. In your home learning book, can you write sentences that make inferences using the clues and questions below? Here are the clues and questions. There is a lot of rubbish. The man looks sad. The man is on his own. Why is he living there? Why is there no colour? Year 1. Can you use the conjunction because to explain your inference? Year 2. Can you use the conjunctions because, as, and for that reason to explain your inference? For example, I think the old man is sad because he is on his own. Year 3 and 4, here's your main task. In your home learning book, can you write sentences that make inferences about the pictures from the beginning of the lesson? Please use any opposing conjunctions like but, yet, though, even though, and despite the fact. Year 3, write 4 sentences with conjunctions that explain your inference. Year 4, write 6 sentences with conjunctions that explain your inference. Here's an example to help. In one picture, the tired old man has a little smile, even though he seems like a miserable individual in the other pictures. Remember to use verbs and adverbs to add more detail, and expanded noun phrases to add more description. And finally, Year 5 and 6, here's your main task. In your home learning book, write a paragraph that explains the advantages and disadvantages you decided earlier using opposing conjunctions. Also, add your inferences you made from earlier in the lesson. Remember to use fronted adverbials and adverbial phrases, verbs and adverbs to add more detail, and expanded noun phrases to add more description. Here's an example to help. Firstly, I feel that the dump would be extremely foul smelling, but there are plenty of opportunities to discover exciting objects if you are willing to put up with it. So how have you done? Time to share your work with the class. Remember to read your work out to your home teacher, but don't forget to check for spelling and punctuation mistakes first. Well done everybody. That's the end of lesson 2. Be sure to join us again in the next lesson.